What's going on? It's your boy Sermon at Sermon's Domain on Twitter. Last spring, Drake said that OVO Sound was taking over, but ultimately the only person that really took over 2015 was Drake. The more accurate thing for him to have said was that OVO Sound is going to take over for 2016 because we have Party Next Door's third project on the way. We have I Love McConaughey's debut album. I'm sure Roy Woods is going to put something out. And kicking things off with OVO Sound's 2016 is Majid Jordan's self-titled debut album. I kind of stayed away from them as a duo just because I wasn't too impressed with Hold On We're Going Home. I felt as though first impressions are big, so after that I was like, okay, it wasn't a bad record per se, but it wasn't something that made me go listen to the EP that they dropped in 2014. But going into this self-titled debut album, there was a lot more hype surrounding it, and I felt like checking it out, so I did, and I gotta say I wasn't disappointed in the least bit. I was actually surprised in how much I liked this album. It has a very cohesive sound, due in part to them working with the in-house producers. Obviously, Jordan produced most of the album, but then there's 1985 and there's 40 and a few others. So these are people that work together that know what the sound is, and they all work together to bring it together. And I like that the album doesn't really fit into a barrier for the time period that it's in. This was probably recorded in 2014 and 2015. I doubt it was recorded at all in 2016. They were probably done with the album, but it doesn't sound like an album that fits into this era of music, and that's one of the reasons why it stands out. And I think it would work well in the past, and it will work well in the future. This album will have longevity, I feel. All the OVO Sound artists, excluding McConaughey and Drake, obviously, they kind of work on a quality is more basis. Instead of just delivering project after project, you kind of get, one project this year, and then the next year they kind of take it off, just to give us like random singles here and there, kind of like what Party Next Door has been doing. But I think that's one of the reasons why this album sounds so good is because they made it as if we're in like the 90s and you need to make one album every couple years. And then like the singles, there's so many singles to choose from on this album. Like you can literally spin the wheel, pick 1 to 12, and you have a single right there. It could be any of the records. Like Shake, Shake, Shake. It sounds like an 80s tune. I think it could go over well. I like the fact that the album itself is pretty simple in the concepts. The concepts aren't overly complicated. Like the record I'm talking about, Shake, 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 was kind of Majid wanting to make his move, but he's contemplating like how to do it. And I think it's a very relatable situation. Who hasn't been in that scenario before? Small Talk is another amazing record. Just like that feeling of not rushing but wanting to rush, like what do you tell her now versus what do you tell her later. He says, I have these thoughts I want to share with you. It sounds like he's just having like a really smooth time with this woman in the record, so he wants to keep things moving, keep going. Another record that I wanted to highlight was Drake's feature on My Love. Now the entire record, don't get me wrong, the entire record is amazing, but hearing Drake on this is like the peak R&B Drake, at least sound wise, maybe not lyric wise, but I really love that bridge because it's something that I haven't heard from Drake in a while. I don't feel like he's done something of this caliber in a long time, so that's why it stood out to me. And I really like that record. I'm surprised it's actually not more of a hit. I know they premiered it last summer, so it could have been building up to this point, but I don't know. And the one other thing I wanted to really highlight on this album was the transitions. They're not like the dreams, but there's also no awkward silence between the songs. It's kind of like a flawless transition. For instance, Something About You goes into Day and Night, and the end of Something About You kind of fits, the instrumentation fits into what the start of Day and Night is. And I think that's what I want out of transitions. Like, there's no reason why I should be listening to an album. In the middle of that album, I have an awkward 5 to 10 second silence. Like, why? No, just get to the next song. I don't need that. Cut that out. And I think that's why this album sounds more like an album too, is because of the transitions. Um, I think it's I think it's just the overall package actually. Like I said, the cohesive sound, the transitions, all of this stuff makes it feel like an album and not just a collection of songs. And that's the one thing that I really appreciated about the album. So those are my thoughts on Majid Jordan's self-titled debut album. Let me know your thoughts on the album once you listen to it in the comment section below, and then like the video, subscribe to the channel if you're not already, share the video, follow me on Twitter at Sermons Domain, and as always, thank you for your time. I appreciate you for watching, and until next time, peace.